Hello and welcome to Auten Math. In this edition of Auten Math, we're going to tackle some simple problems in solving linear equations. The first question asks, does this equation have an error? So let's go through the process of solving this equation. So the first thing we want to do, we always want to get the variable in linear equation on its own, or isolate the variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare my work to the work that's done in the problem. Okay, so I have 1/4 x plus 2 is equal to 4 minus 1/2 x. Right, so now I want to get, I'm partial to having the variable isolated on the left-hand side. It doesn't matter if it's the right or left, but I like it to be on the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/2 x to both sides of the equation, and I end up with 1/4 x plus 1/2 x. Now 1/2 x is also the same as 2/4 x. Right, so I'm going to rewrite that. Remember, when we add fractions, we need to make sure that the denominator is the same. Plus 2 is equal to 4. So let's handle the variable first, then we'll take care of the constants. So 1/4 x plus 2/4 x is 3/4 x. And there we just spotted our error. So the result that we get here is 1/3 x when it really should be 3/4 x. Now the right-hand side of the equation is equal to 2 is going to be correct, because when we subtract 2 from both sides, we end up with 3/4 x is equal to 2. So your result is not going to be x is equal to 6. In the second equation, we have x plus 4 is equal to 2x minus 8. And again, so the strategy here is to isolate the variable in the linear equation on one side and place the constants on the other. Again, I'm partial to having the variable on the left-hand side. So what I'm going to do is start by subtracting 2x from both sides. So I end up with x minus 2x plus 4 is equal to 2x minus 8 minus 2x. So 2x minus 2x reduces to 0. I'm left with negative 8. X minus 2x is equal to negative x. Now I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And I end up with minus x is equal to minus 12, or x is equal to 12. In the last equation, we're in Pennsylvania, and we go down to the closest GameStop to pick up an edition of Modern Warfare, which I don't play, by the way. And we end up paying $3.03 in sales tax for the game. And in Pennsylvania, the sales tax is 6%. So now we need to figure out what the cost of the game is. So we set up our linear equation. So x is the cost of the game. And we know that the sales tax is 6%, and we can write that as a decimal as 0.06. And then we know that when we multiply the sales tax times the value of the game, we end up with $3.03. So again, we need to isolate the variable here. So remember our equality property of division. So I can divide both sides by the same value and still end up with the same result. So x times, and here is a variable, but it's going to be some value. So x times 0.06, I'm going to divide both sides by 0.06, 0.06, and I end up with x, if you do the math, x is equal to $50.50, which I think is a little high from what I understand for that video game.